Welcome to Hanover, Germany, the capital of the state Niedersachsen, and host to the world's largest computer fair, CeBIT. And in CeBIT, we have a very special event, namely the Intel GP Series World Final. 10 contestants from all over the world have come here to find out who is actually the fastest of them. And in the background, you already see the race pods ready for the racers to come in. Yesterday they already had some practice. They got to check out the setup, make adjustments, get accustomed to the whole thing, the whole climate. And today is actually the due date. Today we will find out who walks away with the first prize and the prize money. The whole event is really professional, really big, lots of people around checking out the race and the progress. There's a big stage up there where later on everybody can actually follow the race as it progresses with 2 big screens. So everybody is set to go and ready to go, and hopefully we will get to see an exciting and interesting race.
And as a matter of fact, we did have a great race. And when we covered that event, we did a pregame show so that everybody could know who was involved and how it was going to play out. Now we've changed it slightly since we have a little more footage so you can actually see these guys, but I'm going to play that for you so you can see them for yourself.
Welcome to the Intel GP Series Finals, presented by Intel and iRacing.com on PSR TV. We have 10 of the best sim racers on Earth racing side by side for the grand prize of $4,000. This is all going on as part of the Intel Extreme Masters Tournament at the CeBIT Tech Expo in Germany. How we got to this point is through a 3-region qualifier, each region hosting its own competition to determine the 10 best that would race for qualifying positions into the event. In the European division, we would see Richard Thaler, who is the defending NASCAR iRacing Oval Champion, who comes to this race with over 350 iRacing wins, go from a second place starting position to then lead every lap and win the qualifying event. He was then followed in by Gregor Huttu of Finland with Team Redline. He is the defending road racing champion of iRacing and has over 150 wins to his name. Or Bastien Barche of France, who is also of Team Redline and an iRacing prototype champion, as well as David Williams from My3ID Gaming of England with his 95 career wins. On the US-Canada side of things, we would see a new batch of faces racing side by side for the qualifying spots to the event in Germany. Jason Lisner, the defending prototype champion, who also brings 142 racing wins to the track today. Wyatt Gooden is coming off a fantastic real-life season of the Jeddah TDI Cup, where he won 3rd place and Rookie of the Year. He is also the Grand Am champion with 120 iRacing wins to his credit. Jake Sturgis is another one of the Americans qualified for the race and is the defending Mazda champion. He is very comfortable with this car and has over 140 racing wins. The last American on the grid is none other than Ray Alfalla. Ray is currently leading the points in the NASCAR iRacing Championships, as well as having over 250 iRacing wins to his credit. And the final region is the Asia-Australia competition that would be fighting for the final 2 qualifying spots, making this region all the more intense. And after the dust had settled, we would see Ian Lake winning the race and Mitchell McLeod in the runner-up spot. Ian Lake of Podium Assault has over 79 career wins to his credit, as well as Mitchell McLeod, who was the Season 4 runner-up in the V8 Supercar Series. Mitchell also has over 60 iRacing wins to his credit. This sets the field of 10 for the main event with the biggest names in sim racing. So with hundreds and hundreds of wins and multiple championships, you can see we have the best of the best setting our grid today. The setting for today's race is a sprint race for all of the money. 30 laps at the world-famous Mazda Laguna Raceway, with massive elevation changes, a wide variety of corner shapes, and the dreaded corkscrew. Mazda Raceway is both a fun and challenging racetrack. 11 corners, 2.238 miles in length. It is a perfect venue for a challenge like this. The car is the Star Mazda, a purpose-built rotary race car coming in at 1,090 pounds with 240 horsepower. Despite being underpowered, these little cars are quite capable of blistering lap times due mostly to their massive downforce and never-ending grip. On the line today is over $17,000 in purse, with $4,000 going to the winner, and every driver guaranteed no less than $1,300 just for starting the race.
So now that you've met everybody involved, I gotta tell you, Richard Towler and Jason Lissner both pulled no-shows. I don't know the exact details behind it, but they're not here. And that leaves us with the best 8 guys on Earth fighting it out. And what is very important is how are they going to adjust to their equipment? I mean, I am a finicky driver. How are these guys going to go from their setups at home and adjust to the setups here at the event? More importantly, how are they going to deal with racing face-to-face? I've run face-to-face, and I can tell you it can be very nerve-wracking or intimidating, especially when you have this much money on the line. So, let's see how things played out during the race. After a long journey for all and an even longer trip for others, the drivers were allowed to get some very limited practice for the event. This was not as much a time for shaving lap times, but time better spent getting used to the rigs and the wheels prior to the race. Perhaps also a moment to check out the competition and get a first taste of dealing with the crowd. Once it was time to get down to business, there would be a live qualifying session followed immediately by the race. Bastian Bartsch would take the pole with a 1:17.990 over his teammate and fellow Team Redline driver Gregor Huttu. David Williams would qualify on the inside of row 2, followed by Alfalla, Sturgis, Gooden, McLeod, and Lake. As the pace car pulled onto pit lane, the world would see Bastian Bartsch leading the way and taking the field to the green flag. He would then immediately jump out to a lead with Huttu close behind. David Williams would have to fight off Ray Alfalla at the start until Williams finally maintained that third spot. This stacked up the field behind them for a bit of side-by-side racing for the first lap. Bastian Bartsch would continue to lead the second lap until a mistake going up the hill in turn 6 would send him wide up the hill. While swerving back onto the track, he would lose enough speed for Gregor Huttu to sail by on his right side. Bartsch regains his composure and tucks in behind Huttu. By the third lap, the field had settled down a bit with Gregor leading the way and his teammate marking his every move. David Williams was running very hard in third place, about 10 car lengths back, with a mirror full of Alfalla, followed closely by Sturgis, Gooden, McLeod, and Lake. Then on lap 5, with the slightest of mistakes by Gooden, Mitchell McLeod would make a run on the inside of 4, forcing Gooden to maintain the low line out of 5 as McLeod goes by for 6th place. By lap 6, Huttu and Bartsch had pulled ahead, with most of the top 5 staying within sight of the leaders. However, the battle between Gooden and McLeod would rage on. Then on lap 8, Gooden would get a run on the inside of McLeod, and we would see wheel-to-wheel racing for the position that Gooden had given up earlier. And when it comes to racing, there are times when someone must just give up a position, as Gooden runs out of road and goes wide to spin out of control as McLeod continues on. Gregor would at times stretch out his lead slightly, only to have Bastian reel him in and stay within striking distance. And with a difference of $1,500 between their positions, everyone wondered if he would strike. David Williams was doing a good job of staying with the Redline team, and Ray Alfalla was still in hot pursuit for the last podium position. Sturgis was still running strong, but caught in no man's land alone for 5th place. McLeod had fought off the charges of Gooden, and you would think was in the clear for 6th place until an untimely mistake on lap 22 in the same spot that Bartsch had in air, but with a much worse result of slamming into the wall. This unfortunately ended Mitchell's day, as he would finish in the 8th spot, 9 laps down. Andreas had a chance to talk with Mitchell about his race and his experiences. Let's hear what he had to say.
Let's talk about the race. How was it for you?
Probably not my best race. Started off in qualifying, I didn't put a lap together. So I started in 7th. And then sitting on the grid, I thought I needed a little bit more fuel. added that just to be safe, and sort of messed up the handling a fair bit. So I just wasn't really comfortable in pushing too hard. So first few laps I was sitting behind White and the group of cars we were in, and I felt fairly comfortable. So I thought I'd just sit there and hopefully somebody else would make a mistake or start racing each other and I'd be able to move forward. But sort of White and I started to dice a little bit, and then we sort of broke away from that pack a bit, and from then on I was just by myself, sort of lost concentration, and then spun going through one of the corners and hit a wall. So put an end to that, but still good fun.
We're going to take a small break, and when we return, we have the finish of the race as well as driver interviews. As the laps ticked down, it seemed as though Gregor Hutu was going to be able to hold off Bastian Barsch. Despite the time gap being very close at times, Hutu was just too strong and would go on to win the race. Barsch would have to settle for second place, but Team Redline would be able to celebrate claiming the top podium positions in such a prestigious event. Williams would finish just 8 seconds back, with Alfala only 3 seconds back of him, and Sturgis another 3 seconds back from there. Wyatt Gooden would finish 2 laps down in 7th, with McLeod finishing in 8th. There would be a brief ceremony up on stage with the winners receiving their checks, and Gregor Hutu getting a whopping $4,000 for the day, and the pride of winning on the center stage. Bastian Barsch would get $2,500 for his effort, and David Williams $2,000 as well. In fact, all the racers were paid well for their efforts and got to take part in an experience of a lifetime. What a race. I mean, one mistake by Bastian Barsch, Gregor Hutu gets by, and it cost Bastian the win and $1,500, and proves that Gregor Hutu is still the world's fastest alien. Andreas Nie was there to get interviews with the top 3 drivers. Let's go to him and see what they said about the event.
So please go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Gregor Hutu from Finland, and I've been sim racing for about 12 years, I think, and been doing iRacing for a couple of years, and yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, first of all, congratulations on the victory. You won here. How was the race for you?
It was long. First few laps I was following Bastian. I think he was a bit faster in this event than me, but he made a small mistake, and I got by him, and then just tried to do consistent laps, keep it on the road, and yeah, finish the race, and yeah, I was able to do that and win the race. So yeah, it was a cool race.
All right. I know that you guys are in the same team, Bastian and you. Are there some kind of team orders going on in the background?
No, not really. I mean, just not to crash in turn 1. But yeah, we just went for our own race, and yeah, nothing more than that. So.
All right. Now let's talk about the setup. What kind of setup do you use at home?
I have a Fanatec setup, so it's a bit different, especially the pedals. But you know, it wasn't too hard to get used to these ones, and actually was a lot easier than I thought. So the lap times were pretty close what I can do at home. So yeah, it went much better than I expected.
All right. Obviously, you have won lots of championships and races, competitions. How do those events compare to this one?
Well, this is really different. The first time I've done a big event like this in front of the public. So there was a lot of pressure, quite nervous, and it's really hard to concentrate during the race. So really happy to win something like this, and it's one of my best races, I think, best results.
Okay, I know that one of the spectators, when we were discussing the current situation in the race, when you were leading, he said, well, Gregor is Finn, he's cool, so he will win the race. We didn't notice you were nervous at all.
Well, I was. My feet were shaking a little bit, I think. But yeah, not too bad. I mean, I was able to focus pretty well, and I think that's one of my strengths. And yeah, I guess it helps in a race like this.
All right. With all those wins you've accumulated already, what can we expect of you in the future?
More of the same, I hope. Would be great to do an event like this again. Hopefully it will happen next year. And yeah, if it does, I'll try to qualify again and come here. And yeah, then there's the iRacing World Championship. That's going to be tough this year, so have to focus on that and hopefully get a top 3 at least, and of course try to defend my title. But yeah, it's going to be tough, but we'll see.
All right, well, good luck for that, and Kiitos for the interview. And yeah, see you next time on the track. All right, so please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Bastien Bartsch. I am 25. I'm French. My team is the Team Redline. I did sim racing since 5 years now, and that's all.
All right. Now let's talk about the race. First of all, congratulations on second place. How was it for you?
Yeah, it's a bit disappointed because I started from the first position, but I did a mistake in the second lap, I think, and Gregor managed to pass me. So I was second, and I kept this position until the end. So it's still a good result, but it's a bit disappointing too.
How come you made this mistake? Were you nervous?
Maybe a bit nervous, yes. I missed the corner, and I finished outside in the gravel, and yes, Gregor passed me there.
All right, but still second place. It's a great result. How was the whole experience for you so far?
I did some great competition in the past. Like GT Academy or VWTCC, and the World Championship on iRacing last year, of course. So I think I have good experience in this competition, but it wasn't enough today.
All right. Being French, you didn't have to travel that far to get to Germany, right? Unlike the others from Australia and the US. Is it the first time to Germany for you?
Yes, it's the first time, yes.
Okay, I noticed that some folks were right behind you, watching you. Anybody you knew?
Yes, there was my parents, my brother, my girlfriend, all the family.
Wow, so the whole family was watching you. I guess they're pretty proud of you now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they are proud, yes.
Cool. Now, your setup at home, what does it look like?
It was pretty similar with what we have there. So I wasn't. I felt I had a good feeling with this set, and it explains I think my good pace in qualifying. And in race, in overall, yes.
All right, cool. Last question: what can we expect of you in the future?
I have over the great tournament this year, and I hope I will be able to do a good result in this competition too.
All right, thanks a lot, and congratulations again.
Hi, I'm Dave Williams from the UK, studying automotive engineering at Loughborough University. I started sim racing on Live for Speed, at least properly, like online against other people, and that really got me into it. You're not just racing computer opponents. There's actual, and then I raced a good few years, and that got really involved. Got into a team called My3ID Gaming. I'm still in that team. It's the only team I've ever been in, and great group of guys. And then iRacing obviously came out, and I tried it. Then went for like 6 months without trying it again until I got a bit more money, and then got a year, I think, and then started working up your safety rating, your I rating, and they were talking about the World Championship, and so that was my goal, to get in the Pro Series. Did that, and we just had the first World Championship race last week, and then obviously last summer qualifying for this, I was pretty lucky actually to even get into the qualifier. I had a terrible week when it was just like the European week-long series. Had a few crashes, and I just ended up 13th, I think, at the end of the week. But fortunately, I was lucky because there were a few guys that were too young. So I just scraped into the top 10, just scraped into the qualifier, and then the qualifying race, I just scraped into that as well. Had a battle with Vit Mestina. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he actually passed me. This is a qualifier. Passed me, and then I repassed him, and so just managed to get fourth. So obviously, coming into this, you don't really know. Anything can happen. I mean, especially with the different cockpits, you got to adjust, and it's the same for everyone, though, I guess. But I mean, if you have a play seat at home and you've got a similar style of cockpit, then you've definitely got an advantage. Particularly though, the brake pedal on this, it's the same for everyone, but brake pedal, you've got to kind of crane your leg around the central column, so that took a while to get used to, but we had plenty of practice yesterday, and I got the third fastest time yesterday, so that made me think, maybe I could get a pretty good result.
And you did. You finished third. So congratulations on that. How did the race go from your point of view?
So the actual race itself, Ray was behind me the whole race, and I had to go defensive across the start-finish line several times for the, what felt like several times for the first few laps. But then after that, I managed to start settling in and just trying to stay within your limits. At the same time, still trying to push, because anything could happen up front. They could collide or whatnot, and you've got to be close enough to take advantage of it. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But still, couldn't have really have gone much better.
Okay, what can we expect of you in the future?
I'll try and. I think the first race for us as a team in the World Championship couldn't really have gone much better. We had top 5 of 6 positions, so obviously try and do as well as I can in that, and then hopefully with these kind of events, hopefully we'll see more of them, because I think this one went really smoothly, and I think it's great because the more growth, more people you get, the more competition. So it's just,
Okay, cool. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks very much.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Tamiya's extensive lineup of radio-controlled vehicles provides hobbyists with the joy of running exact replicas of their favorite car, tank, or off-road vehicle. Another attraction of these vehicles is their use of high-grade materials, such as nylon resin, carbon fiber, and polycarbonate. With precise mechanical systems, the maintenance and adjustment of the various components, as well as performance upgrading with optional parts, allows for truly competitive racing. For more information about Tamiya, visit us at www.tamiyausa.com.
So now we've heard from the podium finishers, but Andreas also got a chance to talk to the other racers. And in this case, we're talking about him talking with some of the best sim racers on earth. Ray Alfalla, Wyatt Gooden, in addition to some people who were in attendance like Dom Doohan, who started Team Redline with Gregor Hutu nearly 10 years ago. Let's go back to Andreas and meet some of the people behind this.
All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Ray Alfalla, and I'm a student at Florida Gulf Coast University, and been sim racing for about 6 or 7 years, and just really excited to be here.
All right, so let's talk about the race. How was it for you?
It was great. I qualified 4th, which I didn't expect. I thought I would qualify somewhere around the back, but I started 4th, and to my surprise, into turn 1, Gregor braked really early, I guess, to not run into Bastian. And that forced David Williams, who was 3rd, to brake really early. So I got up to like Gregor in the first lap. And then we were, Williams and I were side by side like the whole first lap. And I really wanted to get by him. I thought if I could get by him, I could stay in 3rd the whole race. But I just, I tried to stay back there, putting pressure on him. But, came home 4th, which is better than I thought I'd do.
All right. Now, how was the whole experience, the whole event for you so far?
Oh, it's been great. Really, the only it's like 12 or 13 hours of flying to get here. I had to make a stop in Philadelphia where Jake Sturgis and I almost missed the plane with a dramatic stop the plane type scene. But other than that, it's been pretty smooth. We were so tired that Intel hosted a dinner last night, and then we went back to the hotel before the dinner, and we both just fell asleep and missed the dinner. So. But other than that, it's been great, really.
Okay, thanks a lot for that.
Thank you.
Wyatt Gooden. iRacing player and real life race car driver. Racing the Volkswagen. Well, last year I raced in the Volkswagen Jetta TDI Cup, and still working on something for this year. But hopefully I'll be able to pursue the real racing career.
All right. So let's talk about the race. How was it for you?
The race, going into it, I really wasn't feeling good this week. Lack of sleep and just my motivation wasn't really all there. But overall the event was great. It was just my driving was definitely a little bit subpar, I'd say. But just kind of got caught up in an incident in the back of the field, and it wasn't really anyone's fault. Just kind of a lack of judgment. Nothing intentional, but that stuff happens, and you don't always have good races. So hey, got to move on.
Okay. How was the whole experience for you now coming to Germany? Is it the first time to Europe for you?
It was really something else. It's kind of funny because we had the race early in the morning, and I'm so used to doing the real racing early in the morning, where you travel in, you get up from the hotel, waking up early, and you got the butterflies, pre-race anxiety going on. And it was kind of cool to feel a little bit of that in the simulation aspect. That was kind of a first time for that, so I thought that was pretty neat. But the whole event itself was awesome. It was just being able to travel this far and experience all this stuff through what we love to do, this sim racing. It shows it's really growing, and it's getting bigger. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to be a part of it, though.
What can we expect of you in the future?
I'm not really sure. At this point, I really want to pursue a real racing career, and iRacing kind of got that started for me, which is awesome. I don't know. I'm looking into getting into open wheel, though. Hopefully, something will work out, and sponsorship goes through. Then that could happen.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Hi, my name's Ian Lake. I'm from Australia. I've been sim racing since Grand Prix Legends. I stopped sim racing about 10 years ago, and I just got back into iRacing and got into the Australian final and won that race. And didn't do too well today, but that's okay.
Yeah, let's talk about today. What happened?
A lot of different configuration on the pedals and such forth, but it was okay. I'm lacking a bit of consistency, so
whole experience itself, coming to Europe, and is this the first time to Europe for you?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's freezing over here. I came from 33-degree temperatures and got here and it's 2 degrees. So cold.
Right. What kind of setup do you use at home?
It's actually a G27 and a Obato cockpit. I've been spotted. Our race team got sponsors by Obato cockpits. So yeah.
So were you fine when using the play seats and the setup they have here?
It's okay. That's the best way I can put it. There are things that I'd like to change on it, but we're not allowed to modify the wheel and pedals and such. So I did okay. I changed some little bits and pieces that helped with my sim racing. So.
All right. You mentioned you just came back from a longer absence from racing. What can we expect from you in the future? Well, what are your goals?
Basically, I just drive for fun. So I was pretty happy to come here and compete here. But we have the Drivers' World Championship that we do each year, and I've got into this second one. I'm having a hard time with the F1 car. I haven't had enough practice, but it's good fun.
All right. Thanks a lot.
My name is Jake Sturgis. I'm 19. I'm from New Hampshire in the United States and relatively new to sim racing. I really only started with the oval racing at first, and then I got into the road racing when I bought iRacing about 2 years ago, and I really enjoy it. I've been getting better. Still room for improvement after watching my driving today, but 5th place, not bad.
Right, absolutely. So let's talk about the race. How was it for you?
The qualifying went pretty well. I started 5th. I didn't get close to my best, but I made a few setup changes right before the race. Wish I hadn't. The car was a little out of control the first 10 laps. I got comfortable towards the end and did my fastest lap on lap 28, but by then I was so far back, didn't really matter, but it was a good race. Congratulations to Gregor for the win, by the way.
So, talking about the setup, what do you use when racing at home?
I use a stock G27, just have a desk with a flat screen monitor, not very big, 21 inches I think, and just a normal kitchen table chair, all wood, not comfortable but very sturdy, that's all I need, and the pedals are flat on the floor, unlike this, so this was very difficult to get used to, especially the braking. I was having a lot of trouble with that. I thought I got comfortable with it in practice, then the race started, it felt totally different again. I think that was just nerves, but...
How was the whole experience for you so far?
Incredible. Doesn't even feel real, but I woke up this morning after not sleeping the night before, and suddenly I could think again, and I said in that I'm in Germany. It took about 5 minutes, but then the big race was today, and I'm satisfied with the results, but this trip has just been amazing, between almost missing our plane to Europe and sprinting for half a mile in the airport with everyone laughing at us. It's amazing. I'm really glad Intel put this on, or else I'd be at work right now.
All right. So what will the future hold for you?
This year, hopefully I can get back in my midget after taking a year off last year, get some more real racing in, and definitely keep up the sim racing, try to make the Pro Series with the F1 car. That's been a lot of fun lately, even though I crashed a lot, but it's very exciting.
Okay, well, thanks you a lot for the interview.
Thank you.
Go ahead and introduce yourself then.
Hi, my name's Dom DeHaan. I'm the founder and one of the drivers for Team Redline, with the likes of Gregor Hutu, Bastian Barsch, Luke McLean, Ben, Volker, a whole load of great drivers basically.
Yes, and that they're great drivers. They demonstrated quite clearly here with scoring first and second place. You must be quite pleased, right?
You know, brilliant for the team, and brilliant for both of them, because I knew there's a lot of pressure on them. They're touted as two of the best drivers around, and you know, you've got to soak up that pressure and deliver, and they did it today. Really good result for the team, and I'm just so pleased with what they've done. So it's brilliant.
What's your view on the whole event so far?
The event is huge. This is where sim racing should be. It should have this kind of coverage. It should have, you know, people sitting down and watching it on the big screen. you know, it's entertaining. Racing's entertaining, and I'm just surprised that it's taken so long to get this far with sim racing. But, you know, hopefully this will be the first of many, and, you know, seeing big names like Intel come into it is only going to be good for the sport.
What can we expect of your team in the future?
Well, I think this year in the World Championship is going to be really difficult, but I'm really hoping that we can pull it out of the bag. I think Greg has still got a really good chance. It's going to be very strong. I also know that Bastien is competing in the Gran Turismo competition to win a AMG SLS worth about 180 grand. So he's got a really good chance of winning that. So yeah, we've got a number of other new drivers that have joined us as well, and they're very strong for this World Championship, like an Italian chap called Luca, and we're hoping he's gonna really deliver this year as well. But the good thing about working in a team is that you can work together with setups, and you can share replays, and you can talk about how to go that extra 10th. So yeah, it should be a good year.
Okay, we will look forward to that. Thanks a lot.
What an event. I want to thank iRacing and Intel for putting it on. I'd also like to thank Andreas for going and getting us such fantastic coverage. I mean, the only thing I can hope for is that next year they keep the tradition going and have another event, but this time maybe it'll be on American soil. If you'd like to check out the full race, go to PSR TV and watch the full replay of the race. I'd like to congratulate the podium winners and all of the contestants. I mean, just making this grid was a huge accomplishment. I'm Sean Cole with Inside Sim Racing, and I'll see you on the track.
Promotional consideration provided by iRacing.com, the ultimate place to race online. The world's finest model manufacturer and leader in RC cars, trucks, and tanks. Go to TamiyaUSA.com.